Warby Parker has unveiled its intelligent eyewear frames developed with Google and Samsung. And joining us right now with more. They're not wearing them, just so you know, folks. Neil Blumenthal is here. Dave Gilboa is here. And they're the co-founders and co-CEOs of Warby Parker. Good morning to both of you. You're wearing some Warbys, but not the intelligent version. So I think we all know about what Meta's done with their glasses. What do your glasses do? How are they different? And when are we all going to see all this stuff?
Yep. So we're launching this fall.
Right.
These are what we believe are really the first truly intelligent eyewear. And we've been sort of looking forward to this moment from years past. Like, do you remember entering sort of you're typing into a prompt into a browser and doing any sort of search that we all do every single day? Well, now you can do it just through your glasses. You don't have to take out a computer or a phone, look at anything, ask any question. We just had a team member who was able to capture his son's first steps using the glasses. I was using it this weekend to figure out whether I should water a plant or should move it to put it in a place with more sun. So it's pretty powerful stuff.
And in terms of, so you guys are doing this now with Google and Samsung. Obviously, Meta's doing that with Ray-Ban and Oakley and the others. And then you have what we think is Apple trying to do something. Do you think they're going to partner with somebody? So what does this whole marketplace look like to you in the end?
Yeah, we expect intelligent eyewear to be the next major computing platform. And the moment that you put on our products, it becomes clear that this is a fundamentally more natural and human way to interact with the world than kind of staring down at a screen in your hand. And these devices allow you to do the mundane, check your calendar, get directions while you're engaging with the people around you, or give you superpowers, like be able to understand any language. This weekend I used them to install a car seat where the glasses identified the make and model of the car seat. I didn't have the manual with me. It was observing how I was installing it.
This was putting stuff into the glass itself?
Yeah, so there's...
In terms of images into the glass?
So our first product will be audio only. So they'll have cameras that use as visual input, speakers and microphones, and so you can speak to the glasses and they'll speak to you.
How light are they ultimately going to be? The ones that are ultimately going to put images into the glasses for us, so that we're like living in this sort of different reality.
Yeah. For us, we come in from eyewear designers, and it's really important that they fit great, that they're comfortable, that they're lightweight, that they're designed for all day, everyday wear. So they'll weigh the same as a normal pair of glasses.
And what about, so one of the things that's interesting about what Meta's doing is they actually have a wristband that you have to wear to be able to do certain things with your hands. Similar with you?
So our glasses will be a standalone product that you can interact with by speaking to them. They'll have some tactile functionality.
No, but in terms of long-term being able to put stuff into the glass, there's a big question about like what you can do with your hands to change the interface, right?
Yeah. Over the long term, we don't think that you necessarily need sort of other
the extra
devices.
Stuff.
Exactly.
That's the real question. And how much do you think this is going to cost? What's the price point going to be?
So we'll share more specifics as we get closer to launch this fall. But like every product by Warby Parker, we expect that they'll deliver tremendous value and be very competitively priced.
What do you think? So your main competitor, I assume, right now would be Meta. Would be an agreement that that's the one that's the most similar? What is this going to do that's different than that, for example?
Yeah. So this has the power of Google, the power of Gemini behind it. So, again, you can ask it any question. We were walking in the office and we randomly saw some balloon animals. And some of our team had used the glasses to teach themselves how to do balloon animals. I had a meeting, and in between meetings, Dave and I are constantly sort of staring at our phones, trying to quickly read an email or respond to a text. And this way we were able to have our heads up and sort of ask, as we were going from conference room to conference room, how long is it going to take us to get to this meeting in Midtown, for example? And these productivity gains, this a way to sort of pique your curiosity. There's nothing like it on the market right now.
Culturally, how long do you think it's taken? What will it take? And will we get there? where people genuinely feel comfortable with your main pair of glasses that you're wearing every day, having a camera on it, having a microphone on it. You're going to walk into the bathroom, maybe with other people. Like, when do you think people in society go, this is cool, we're totally okay with this? Or do you think that in the same way that we're having commencement addresses about AI and people are booing, that that's going to happen on the other end?
Yeah, so we've designed these products with privacy first in mind, and we feel really, really grateful to be aligned with our partners at Google and Samsung. And so the cameras will be off by default. If they're ever recording, it'll be incredibly visible with LEDs that can't be turned off. And we recognize that any technology creates change in behavior, and there's anxiety around how AI is going to transform how we all live.
Do you see them as persistently listening, though, at becoming devices that persistently listen? The reason I ask is, OpenAI and Johnny Ive, they're talking about trying to create a device that's persistently listening and potentially even watching everything you're doing, so that ultimately the AI can be so smart about everything that's happening in your life. But there's lots of questions about how that's going to work.
Right. Our phones are already listening to us, so we've already sort of given that up. Now, for us, you're going to need a prompt. Right. But I think we probably have to have honest discussions on what we've already sort of decided.
But sometimes, at least I'll be honest with you, sometimes I'll see somebody who's wearing a pair of the Meta glasses, and they'll come to a meeting, I've seen it, and I get a little just more reticent, hesitant, I don't know what the word is, but I'm just aware that that guy's got a camera on him.
Like when the camera's on here. The way you are.
I'm not that reticent when this camera's on. But no, in terms of how you think it's going to change the way we talk to each other, do you think it's going to shift things?
These are general rules, right? I remember my parents are always saying, hey, don't do anything that you wouldn't want on the front page of the New York Times, right? And
page 6.
Or page 6, exactly like that.
Or your grandmother.
Right, but here's the distinction. Yeah. The distinction is, so I tell my kids, don't type anything. I mean, if you're on Snap or this, don't, because it could last forever.
Right.
And I say, if you have to have a complicated or private conversation, you should get on the telephone and call the other person and tell them whatever the thing is. But that changes the whole dynamic if everyone's listening all the time, because then the phone call doesn't matter, right? And I just wonder what that does to us.
I think it's one of the primary reasons that we're so excited to partner with Google. And if you think about Google's business model, it's designed to help people find information and then move them kind of off of Google properties. That's how their search business works. Others in the market are really designed to try to keep you in their ecosystem, try to incentivize you to capture content. For us, it's about making the world more useful and giving the wearer the information they need and having kind of the sensors off when that's not necessary.
So now people have oftentimes a pair of reading glasses. They might have a pair of long distance. They might have sunglasses that are long distance. All of the above, right? I think people who need glasses oftentimes are having a lot of. Do you expect everybody to have one pair of these glasses that is, what's the phrase?
Like a transition.
A transition glasses that everyone's just wearing one pair because they're so expensive. How do you think that works out in the end?
These are still a fashion accessory, and we think that people will have multiple pairs. This industry is going to go through a transformation like many industries, and we're going to drive that transformation just as we have for the last 16 years. It might take 10 years, it might take longer as sort of this original wearable becomes now a digital wearable. That will take time, but we'll make sure that we're making it affordable so people can have a wardrobe of glasses.
And last question, what do you think this does to contact lenses? Because you guys actually got into the contact lens business, and I think you're doing quite well in it. But I wonder if in the future we're all just wearing glasses because we need all of this other tech, what that does to that part of the business.
Or you can you do it on a contact lens?
Well, that would be one day,
yeah. We think smart contact lenses are many years away. In the meantime, We think people will want choice like they have today. Some people want to wear these glasses and put their prescription in them. Other
so you're
people
not shorting
might...
the contact lens business long term if this becomes successful.
Right.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking if everyone's going to wear these things, who needs the contact lens?
We think the prevalence of vision correction is increasing by the year, and that's going to continue. And there's going to be lots of opportunity for both the contacts and
I'm waiting for
category.
when the lenses can transform themselves so that the prescription's constantly changing to actually match your eye, similar to what I think the Apple headset folks,
Vision Pro.
The Vision Pro guys eventually wanted to get to a point where the video on the other end was transformed to your eyes so you wouldn't even need lenses, if you remember, and whether you'll ever be able to pull that off in these kind of glasses.
Right. One day, and you can also imagine sort of supervision as well, and that's how we think about these products. How do we give ourselves, superpowers?
Right.